Captain Jeff Page, Star Tron Central West Region, and we're just going to go over ABCs of rigging jig heads on soft plastics versus weedless on soft plastics. And we'll start with a 1/4 ounce jig head, and this is a Saltwater Assassin Green Moon Sea Shad, which is a paddle tail soft plastic, 4 inches. So when going in, you want to always go in centered on the nose of the bait, and then stay centered while you feed the hook through the plastic, and then the exit out the back is very important that you stay centered to where you scooch it up on there. I could have gone probably a little further, but what I like is that it's lined up perfectly straight, and then you attach your leader, which we'll go to in a second. Now, same bait with a weedless hook, and this is a 5-0. I would rather use a 4, but the 5-0 weedless will work in a drama, and this is a Trocor Eagle Claw, and we'll rig it in the same bait. So this is a Saltwater Assassin Sea Shad, and again, just like with the jig head, you go in the nose centered, but you exit right out to allow for that shank to sit perfectly in the cradle's what I call it, and then I just scooch it up a little to take that slack out, and then I come right out that back. And if it's not real bad grass, you can leave that hook exposed a little on top. If the grass is bad, you can skin it to where it won't hang up on anything. So what you have is you have a jig head with this bait that you can bounce off the bottom or swim through the water column, but with the exposed hook, it's going to snag up grass. Then you have the weedless rig that you can drag on the bottom. If you need weight, you can attach a slide weight, but what this does is it allows you to drag it slowly through the grass, and the grass won't hang up on the barb of the hook, whereas with the jig head, the grass is going to snag. Same bait, same fish will eat it, be your redfish, your trout, your snook, but this you can fish in a totally weedless presentation versus this you need more of a sand bottom. Now I'm going to go into our leader, which is 30-pound test diamond, and then all I like to do when I tie a loop knot, and I'll use a loop knot for both these applications, is I like just to make my loop very simple, just a regular slip knot. And that's not going to be my loop. My loop is this piece right here, and it goes through that. And there is going to be the eye of my hook, and that right there that my finger is going through there, that will be the loop to my bait. So we'll start with the jig head. We run that tag end through the eye of the hook, then through that slip knot that I made earlier, and just slide up so I have enough room to work. I go twice above the loop that I made earlier, or slip knot, and then back through the slip knot. And this is the most important part. When you cinch it down, you don't want too big of a loop. Like no bigger than a pencil eraser. I even like it a little smaller than that. And with 30-pound fluorocarbon, what you have now is you have almost like having a split ring instead of that knot being cinched right on down to the eye of the hook. And then that's how your bait's going to work. With a loop knot, your bait is allowed a lot more freedom for a lot more wiggle going through the water. And then the same would be done here. Well, as a matter of fact, we'll just do this on the other side. So same thing. Let's go through that again. And I'm not much of a knot 101 teacher, but this is an easy knot, and everybody asks me. So again, the slip knot, but that's not our loop. Our loop is going to be up here. So we run our tag end through our eye of our hook, then we run our tag end through the slip knot we made, twice above the slip knot around the shaft, and then back through the slip knot, and then just keep it as small as possible. Pencil eraser is as wide as you want it. And there it is. Again, it's like a split ring or a snap ring, but you're not using any extra material. It's just the monofilament. And that knot will not cinch down or slip this way. It's locked in. And then, you want to trim it just like you would anything, nice and close, because any tag end will hang up on grass. So you want it pretty close to the knot. So here we have it. Jig head versus weedless. 30-pound fluoro. I would probably like to use a little bit smaller weedless hook for that plastic and a little lighter jig head for that plastic, but 30-pound fluorocarbon's good. Loop knot on both baits. This is a bigger bait. This is a Saltwater Assassin Salty Snack. Real good speckled trout bait, especially in the early spring months of like March and April. And what's cool about it is it's such a big centered bait that it has a lot of buoyancy to where it's almost like a suspending bait. And if you don't attach a jig head to it, just a bare weedless hook, you're going to really have some suspending action. Again, centered in the nose, right back out to allow for that little shaft. Barely go in, come right back out, spin that around, and then the way he has it, there's a cavity down inside here. So again, you do just like you did your sea shad. Bring that weedless hook out the back, centered. You could use a 6-0 on this butt. Watch this. This is pretty slick. And it'll run through any grass. The only bad news about it is not being a wide shank. When that fish eats it, you're going to have a lot of missed strikes, because when he crushes down on it, that's all the barb that's going to come out. But again, you're going to be able to pull this rig suspended through 6 inches of water with tall turtle grass and never hang up in the grass. So it's a great slow presentation bait that will work really good this spring for big speckled trout and redfish. Any fish that are up in the shallows and you're snagging too much grass up on your jig head, this Salty Snack weedless is a great, great imitation. And that's your tip of the day.